So, probably a lot of trouble blinking from Chwan. Ravage on 3, Shackle on 2. Why, a beautiful little Shackle from him, and that sets up a quick double kill. Just the question, Demon starts it off with the Firefly, blinks in, grabs K Phoenix, surprise!
Does get chucked up before he BKBs. FC overextending. Here comes the AoE, but he's already gone down N9 in a...
Will this be enough to bring LGD down? He's so low. Maybe should have saved the Flame Breath. Don't know if that last auto attack would have hit. And Tiny kills him with the splash on kill.
And we'll get out. They haven't got sentries or dust. The clamp comes in. Maybe an Aegis.
Oh!
Well played.
Oh, this is a beautiful thing to see. It's a base trade, and EG might be caught unawares. It's a time for a TP scroll check, and nobody has a TP on EG.
They haven't done enough damage to backdoor protection. They need
Unbelievable!
more geniuses.
Thousands of years of waiting, and yet no time to waste.
Welcome back, everybody, to day number 2 for the G1 League playoffs. And what do you know? We got the webcams in the right spot, although GoDz has the top of his cut off, so we'll see what we can do about that to get you looking proper. No, it's something with Skype. It's acting up. But GoDz, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. We've both had a busy day already of casting, but this is kind of what we've all been waiting for, I feel.
There we go. I think we got you sorted out. It's DK versus LGD. As far as matchups go, there may be some people out there like, oh, these two Chinese teams, this is just going to be a farm fest. But anyone who says that, I got to say, you haven't been watching how these two teams are playing recently. Let's take a quick look at the playoff bracket just so everyone can see where we are. And for everyone tuning in, the bracket yesterday was incorrect. I've double, triple checked with Liquipedia, and as far as I can tell, this should be the right bracket. So actually what happens, it's very bizarre, but IG moves forward through the bracket. That's standard. What's weird is Orange drops down to the bottom half, and they play the winner of Tongfu versus EG, not MUC versus Flash's winner. The winner of this match moves on into the semifinals. The loser of DK versus LGD goes up against the winner of MUC versus Flash. So we're not going to see sort of that all Southeast Asian powerhouse showdown, but what we will see is a bit more sort of cross-pollination with the Chinese teams playing off against the Southeast Asian teams. GoDz, let's talk about today's matchup. Let's talk about DK versus LGD. You predicted an LGD 2-1 victory, but it's by no means an easy or smooth thing to say. I'm thinking DK 2-0, but this one really could go either way. For me, I guess the big thing is, I feel like it depends which LGD shows up to play.
Yeah, LGD have shown their sort of passive, safe style of play with some outdated picks, and then they've shown some more aggressive styles. They're really a team who have, like you say, two separate teams. And if someone asked me why or how LGD are going to win 2-1, I wouldn't be able to explain it. DK are the obvious favorites going into this matchup. They won their group pretty much convincingly. The only game they lost against Orange was pretty much a drafting mishap. They just had bad lanes, bad draft. The Wisp Tiny as their first 2 picks was a mistake. So I think DK are on paper the clear favorites. I just have this crazy hunch LGD can take it 2-1 just based on seeing them in the past and how well they've done in online tournaments. But it's not going to be easy. I think saying DK can win this 2-0 is sort of a sensible answer to that prediction, but we'll see what LGD can do.
Yeah, for LGD, we have 3 key points. The first one is avoid the Invoker trap, and this sort of fits in with the final point as well, of prepare to fight early. The issue that we've seen from LGD when they struggle in games is that they're trying to play lineups where heroes don't really reach sort of the peak of their power curve until later on in the game. Invoker is sort of a classic example of this, where in theory, Exhort Invoker, yes, he can set up some aggressive kills, but generally when they play the Invoker, Yao goes for the Wex build, and it's just not a high impact here in the laning stage. He can't do enough to blunt the aggression, and DK has shown that they'll play very similar to IG, especially in their last couple games, picking heroes like Slaughter, like Panda, heroes that can just kill you under your towers, and heroes such as Invoker who take longer to get going. Sort of, it's the trap that we don't think LGD can afford to fall into for this match.
Yeah, I think Invoker worked really well for them at TI2, but with the new patch changes, it's just a hero that won't work out all too well. It's really just, it takes too long to get involved, and the action is happening a lot faster pace, a lot earlier on. And even if you get those levels on Invoker, he's a hero who can just get overwhelmed by brute force. Moving on from there, LGD picking Xiao Wei to Keeper of the Light. It's just been a key hero. I mean, I feel that their win rate with this hero has just been phenomenal.
Yeah, they've been winning a lot of games, and we've seen it played a couple of ways. He's played it as a tri-lane support in aggressive tri-lanes, in defensive ones. He also likes to run the Keeper of the Light occasionally as an off-lane solo, and he's just done so many creative things with it. It's a support that has a lot of ability to control the early to mid game, whether it's recalling allies into team fights. He even did things like farming from the low ground of the river up into the high ground, and of course we see just the amazing ward placement that Xiao Wei brings to the table. So that is our third key point for LGD. The game is about to get underway, so let's just move right ahead towards DK, who looked very shaky in their first match against Orange. They tied that match 1-1. The first game, it came down to a drafting mistake. They even admitted it. I think he said publicly on S-Game, or they made a post about it, or there was some response perhaps on QQ. Either way, they started with a tiny wisp, tipped the hand of their draft off the bat. But since that game, I gotta say, DK's been drafting very intelligently, and they've been playing a lot different. There was a post on Team Liquid sort of previewing and summing up Week 2, previewing the playoffs, and it talked about how 4 Protect 1 has really morphed into this 1 Protect 4. I believe the author of that was Coupon 3SS, and of course he sort of got this idea that Burning is similar to Zoe in a lot of ways, and that they sort of are emblematic of the Chinese metagame and of how Chinese Dota is progressing. But this idea that it's not 4 Protect 1, it's not 4 heroes, sit back and just keep your anti-mage or Morphling, your ultra-hard late game carry safe. You pick a hero like Slardar, you pick a hero like Panda, and sure, that hero gets a little bit of protection early on, but he starts paying it back a lot earlier in the game.
Yeah, it's really true. I think they execute the 1 Protect 4 in different ways. With Zhou, they have a lot of the weight being lifted by YF on the side lane, by Ferrari in the mid. Sure, LGD have a great solo mid player in Yao, but I feel... Sorry, sure, DK have a great solo mid player in Super, but Burning really gets a lot more aggressive. He's been involved in a lot more kills and is much more instrumental. I feel like with DK, if they get off to a good early start, Burning uses that to get a lot of kills, a lot of farm. And it's a team that if you give them that early game lead, they won't look back. They will easily take the game, something which Orange couldn't do when they got ahead against IG yesterday.
Yeah, we're not going to see DK with veterans like Die, Burning, 357. Heck, even Super at this point is pretty much, it's fair to call him not only a veteran, but this is a team that knows how to win championships. They did it in 2011. 2009 crowned them the best team in the world as far as Dota 1 goes, and at the time, Dota 2 wasn't really a big deal. And that wasn't just 2009 saying that or having a favorite. They were. They won almost every Chinese event. Even the ones they didn't win, they placed extremely well. It's a veteran team. It's a team that's won in the past, and I think we're seeing the seeds of what is to come. The final key points for this team: Super, the mid cane reborn, and play like bullfighters. The play like bullfighters, for me, I feel it just sort of sums up the aggressive style we've seen lately from DK, picking Slardar for Burning. Sure, he gets a Midas on the Slardar half the time, but you know, picking these more aggressive mid-game oriented heroes who can have a larger impact earlier on, even if on paper they might not have the same potential later in the game. And then part of this has also been Super's play. For me, he was the best solo mid player in 2011 in Chinese Dota. Really consistent and impressive in Dota 1. And we're starting to see, I think, the seeds of Super returning to that premier top-level solo mid status where he can challenge players like Ferrari for the title.
Yeah, he's been playing phenomenally throughout this tournament, and it's going to be one of those players who has to step up. Yao as well I think he's had his moments, but he just hasn't been as consistent as he was at TI2. I mean, his Invoker really got talked up a lot after that tournament. Everyone sort of knew Ferrari for his Invoker, but then LGD were running Invoker almost every single game and doing amazing. The problem is now that, like we say, Invoker is a bit of a trap. Super has just got a sort of more versatile array of heroes. He can play so many different ones in that mid lane, and he's just been doing it so damn well throughout the G1 League and in other tournaments. So he does seem to be coming back to his form of 2011, where DK dominated the Dota 1 scene for a good portion of the year. So he's going to be, yeah, he's got to really step up his game. Him and Burning, if it clicks with them, the support play coming out from Dai is really sort of, he's meshed well with this team, I feel. I mean, they've really sort of come into their own. It's a new and improved DK, and that's what we're really seeing here. And the DK look like the team who should be getting to that top 4 LAN finals with a win here.
And Dai really is the glue that holds this team together. Such an impressive support player, does so much with so little. And with all that being said, guys, we're ready to get underway. DK versus LGD is about to start. We'll be back in just a moment, and the game will be underway.